What's up, guys? Good evening. This is Nico Rocha, the host of the Six Man Podcast. And as you can see on your title, you already know who the guest is, but this is just a quick intro to what we're going to discuss. So basically, Naveen Ganglani is here on the podcast to discuss the behind the scenes of being part of the media in the FIBA World Cup 2023. I know that a lot of you guys have seen all the photos, the videos when it comes to the preparation with regards to the World Cup. And he is our key guy here on what it feels like to be there behind the scenes, checking out the players, getting the interviews on guys like Coach Polstra and the others. And we're gonna discuss our Gilas Final 12 and to cap it off, our predictions on the games against the Dominican Republic tomorrow. This is a live stream, so bukas, actually makita nyo to agad. This is a live stream. You guys can comment actually on the chat on YouTube. Angola, and Italy. So yun. We're gonna discuss it in detail. Actually, ano naman, not in detail kasi sobra naman yun. So we're gonna comprise this to a 1 hour podcast. But it's a first time to do something like this. Hopefully that a lot of you guys can interact with us in the chat room. And if it goes well, we'll try to do more of this in the coming days and weeks. Since it's actually the World Cup, it's finally here. It's tomorrow. And let me welcome our guest, Naveen Ganglani. Naveen, go ahead. Direct, please bring in Naveen. You're on mute, my friend.
Sorry about that.
Ayan.
I was just
Ayan.
saying, our director friend, Lem, caught me on the wrong time scratching my head. What an entry point. No,
Y-
no, no, no.
yun yung
Just
gusto niya
joking
gawin
around.
eh. He's
Classic.
to
Si
catch at the wrong time.
Lem, of course, shout out. He's one of our producers in the Pinoy Liga League. But Nico, thanks for having me here. Appreciate it, bro. Always, it's good. I think it's the first time I'm on your podcast, man. I mean,
Oo,
I
kasi
need
puro ako yung
to.
sa'yo eh. Kasi sabi ko, wait lang, parang hindi pa
Exactly.
nakakabawi. Hindi pa buwabawi kay Nav. So
Exactly.
here,
Yes,
sakto.
yes. That's why, even if the World Cup starts tomorrow, when you messaged me saying that you wanted to do this, I said right away, G, because I knew I owed you, especially for all the times you came on my podcast. So appreciate you. And hello. Thanks for having me here today. Thanks to everyone tuning in right now.
Yan. Actually, let me just, since very candid lang naman tayo dito, let me just share this link on Instagram. Just one
Go lang, go lang.
story
Water break lang ako.
in game. Share it. Live on the pod. Live stream.
Hey, Roy Devesa. I feel like that's
Ayan, you can check
familiar.
out
What's up,
the
Roy? Hey, Roy. What's
what's
up,
up.
David?
Yan, say go lang na habang pinopost ko on my Instagram. Kasi with by that link.
Renz, of course. Hey, Renz, what's good evening to you, bro? Thanks for tuning in to the Sports CCN community right now. Tuning in, watching TNE Network. Thanks for spending your night with us. Mika Rivera. Hi, Mika. Hello. And by the way, to anyone who needs tickets to the FIBA World Cup, a friend of ours, Mateo, has one ticket to give away. So search Mateo Leonso on Facebook and you might just find a way to watch the FIBA World Cup.
Play ko na ng Gilas live stream here. Guys, I want to say hi
Um,
as well. I'm just typing it on Instagram para mas spread namin. It's the first time doing this. We haven't thought of how the process would be with regards to how to spread it in real time while people are coming in. So
right, right. So
welcome.
I just want to shout out my sisters, Nicole and Krisha. They're tuning in as well. Krisha's like, oh yeah, homie giving free clout to clean canteen. Nicole, my sister, wants to find out who's my favorite sister. I am not answering that question. That is a trap. That is that is one of those answers that 10 years from now they're gonna be like, "Hey, remember that time you chose a favorite sister?" And I'm gonna be like, "Ah, shit."
Sino ba yung tawag dito, yung bagong pick-up coffee influencer? Si Nicole, di ba?
That is Nicole. Yes, yes, Nicole. And this is like such a 180-degree turn. I swear, every time we would have dinner, for the to be kind about what she said. Let's just say she wasn't a fan of pickup coffee in very
Mm.
emotional and passionate ways. But suddenly, because of the scientific discovery, aka oat milk, that she started putting on her coffee, suddenly everything has changed. So shout out to Pickup Coffee for changing my sister's views on coffee. I guess. Well, coffee is very important nowadays, right? A lot of people find passion in it. I know I need my coffee. Oops,
Hmm,
sorry. My
iba
mic fell
talaga,
out.
parang lumilindol dyan sa ano, sa Makati, ah.
No, no, no. See,
Actually,
because you said we're casual, diba? So I guess okay, casual. Let me drop
yeah,
my
it's a good vibe.
my.
Yung ganitong vibe na hindi masyado formal, chill lang. But ito, Nava,
Yeah, yeah,
since
yeah.
it's actually this is the night before the FIBA World Cup, and I just wanna ask, I think kasi not all people here are part of the group chat so that we're currently in. So how was it like interviewing the guys from Team USA, whoever, Coach Spo, meeting Brian Windhorst? How's that been? From the moment you got your ID, how do you plan your day with regards to all of that?
Um. Well, so far it's been one day yesterday where a lot happened. Today I was going to attend some team practices. I was going to go to some press conferences, but I said I just catch up on the work from yesterday and get ready for tomorrow. But first, shout out to Jordan from New York, Cubao daw.
Yeah, New
So
York
hello.
Cubao represent.
What's up, Jordan?
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool, bro. Because weirdly enough, I didn't even know if I was going to get access as media until like a few days ago.
Okay.
Um, because I applied a few months ago, but I had to fix some stuff up with my application.
Okay.
And then really, I was in Vietnam vacationing a few weeks ago. And during the whole time in the back of my mind, I was anxious also. Oh no, my accreditation email is not there yet. And then, of course, you're trying to enjoy your vacation, but then at the same time, you want it to arrive na the approval email, diba? Because
Yeah.
you want it set na. So anyway, eventually, when I got the approval and then I got the email, during this whole time, I was also talking to a friend of mine from NBA Asia. Shout out to Jandrick, who does such a great job with NBA events for the Philippines and Philippine media. Does such great work. And basically, so he said that there would be a media availability with Spolstra, keep it under the radar. They want to parang interview. So when I found out right
Okay.
away, my first instinct was, yo, 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 I need to like get a one-on-one. Like I want, to aim for the stars here, right? And
Was this like a week?
say,
Did you like find out a week na may chance to interview Eric Spolstra to actually be there in media day?
well, about a week before a week before yesterday, there would be a media
Okay.
availability. And but I didn't know it would be a one-on-one setup till a few days beforehand because of
Okay.
course schedule that, the usual process. And so yeah, I found out. Once I found out, I told Rappler, let's set up a production crew, and it's a busy week for multiple reasons, right? So much going on. So first, we had to make sure the crew is available, and then prepare my questions in advance. So yesterday, we get there. I get to carry sports where the camp was held at around maybe like 9:50 ish, like that. So
How's the
Coach Po was there
security
already.
to enter
Oh, tight.
Carry Sports?
Oh, well,
Lighting security.
I would say tighter than usual, even for media.
Oh,
Big. So for like writers, reporters, it's still the same. You go through the lobby, you go to Carry Sports, and then you register. You give them the affiliation you're with, and then they check it on the list. And if you're good to go, they let you in. For the prod crew, naman, they had to go through a different entrance to bring up their equipment. So we get there. Spolster's already there. 40 high school and college student athletes are there with the cam. 20 female, 20 male, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check that, but it felt about even. And then, so Mikhail Bridges was already there too. He was one of the early guys there, Steve Kerr. And then slowly by slowly, like every 5, 10 minutes, someone would come. So Halliburton arrived. And then Cam Johnson arrived. And then Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Anthony Edwards too. He was there across the room. And Spo was running the clinic. Some DLSU Green Archer players were actually in attendance. So I posted a picture of them. And they got to learn from Spo. They got to learn about the defensive principles they were instilling. They got to learn about some of the offensive side of things. There were some light workouts. Everything was nice. And then after the camp itself, Spo sat down with the kids, the student athletes, and he let them ask him questions. And the questions were very interesting too. Like, okay, what is it like during the heat big 3 days? How do you prepare yourself mentally? And he was really I would say generous with these answers in terms of explaining it. Like each answer he answered in like 3 minutes or 4 minutes because he was giving details and
Para may
context. So that
content,
was
'di ba? Hindi yung parang yes,
yes.
no.
Yung mga sagot niya is yung tipo na each answer could be like its own story
Hmm.
almost. Um, cool picture, by the way. Thank you for showing that. And
Kaya kita
then,
may director eh, para mapakita to eh.
shout out to them. And then, yeah, so after the kids asked the questions, there was a media scrum, a bunch of media asked different questions, and then CNN did an interview with Spo, and then we were super blessed to be able to get an interview with Spo. Thank you to USA Basketball for making that happen. And I got about 7 minutes with him, and it was cool. You know, the interviews in Rappler. Um, it's on YouTube, Facebook. So if you guys want to check it out, it's right there in socials. And he was generous with these answers as well. Went into context, even shared some cool details like how Dwayne Wade told him that Dwayne Wade wants to come to the Philippines soon
Mm.
enough. Also, answers such as, okay, what's it like coaching Anthony Edwards, which a lot of fans in Miami were very happy about and totally took out of context in their
Out of
fun ways. Of
context. Bro,
already
coach na daw
imagining
eh. Nagsimula na.
one of those we know we're gonna exaggerate this, but we're gonna do it anyway types. But you know that's what makes Twitter X. So yeah, it was a great interview. Spo's kind enough to answer the questions. He answered questions about his Filipino heritage. He provided some context about how being a Filipino influenced him growing up, and that's
Okay.
how it kind of shaped him now as a coach in the NBA. I think the best coach in the NBA, considering what he does with his team and how he's able to be versatile every season. And then it was great experience. Can't complain.
Kinabahan ka ba
Loved it.
when you were there? I'm sure you've interviewed a lot of personalities already, but coach mo kasi may pagka-idol mo, 'di ba? So is there a
Uh,
bit of nervousness or it's more of you're in your like game time for you?
yeah, I think younger me, maybe like 6, 7 years ago, would have been like super anxious and would have stuttered while answering some questions. But thanks to podcasting, such as the episodes we've done, episodes I've done with other athletes, doing interviews. I've done interviews with Coach Tab, Coach Tim on Rappler Talk,
Yeah.
which was kind of similar, not in length, but in style with what I did with Coach Spo. So I think that provided me good practice and training, and also just being in the press for years, UAP games, and some PBA coverage, other FIBA coverage. Of course, you have to be professional. Basically, everything you do is an image of who you are as a professional. So, as much as possible, I just try to stay professional in that sense and ask questions which I think would be very insightful. And I just did my job. And that's what I told myself throughout the process, where it's like, okay, just do your job, just do it how you would usually do any other interview. And I would say I'm happy with how it turned out, naman.
Great, that's amazing. And actually, just want to say hi to John Mark Jayag, one of the coaches ng Quezon Huskers in the Junior MPBL. So, thanks for watching and really nice to hear that. And si Maui Yap, Nav, Boleros. If you know about them, they're part of the Boleros
Yes.
podcast. They love to
Yes.
discuss about UAAP and basically Philippine basketball. So I hope see the Maui still here and the rest of the guys. Thanks for tuning into our first live stream. It's a work in progress what we're gonna get there. My mic didn't work, so I have to use the headphones. It's not the ideal sound that I want, but thanks again for watching. Hopefully we get to do this more, right? Especially as we get into the FIBA World Cup as the games continue to get played. If there are any upsets, we might do emergency podcast, emergency live streams if kailangan. Especially you, Nav, ang hirap-hirap to get you on something like this considering that you need to be in the venues. So anong oras ka na uuwi?
Right.
Mga
And
12
all
a.m., 1 a.m.
probably, and also on top of that, I'll be covering USA games and Philippine games. So usually teams have breaks in between, right? So like
Yeah,
USA is not playing tomorrow, they're playing Saturday, and then they play on
yeah.
Monday next. But in between that, I'll be covering Gilas. We don't know yet how far Gilas will go, but at least for the group phase, that's what. And there will be some classification games also, so it'll be busy time. But of course, whenever I tell myself this next few weeks are going to be busy and kind of intense and demanding, on top of all the other work and just living life, right? I just tell myself how this is such a historic moment for this World Cup to be in the Philippines. Who knows if it's going to happen in our lifetimes again? So I'm just going to try to savor every second of it. I'm going to try to make as many friends as I can and just enjoy the process. Hopefully, get some good stories.
Speaking of good stories, actually, the breaking news yesterday was the kapon diba, yung release ng Gilas Final 12. So, Direk,
Yes.
can you show us the Final 12 here? So, I will go through this one. Renza Bando, Japet Aguilar, Jordan Clarkson, AJ Edu, Junmar Fajardo, Jamie Malonzo, CJ Perez, Roger Pogoy, Dwight Ramos, Kiefer Ravena, Kai Soto, and Scotty Thompson. And if I would ask you now, is this, I mean, no sugarcoat. I mean, the first thing that went into your head, at least yun, is this the final 12 that you imagined? Or no?
Hmm.
And you can say your in your defense on why it's not. If ever dumating tayo dun sa point na yun, right? Like, oh, this is not my final 12 because I mean, just the first thing that went into your head when you saw that final
Right.
12.
Right. So the news, there was some not much frustration, but questions about why Newsom would be cut when
Okay.
it was announced because of Chris Newsom's role and what he can contribute to a team.
Yeah.
Although the person I would say I wish was in the roster was Bobby Ray Parks. And the
Bobby
reason why
Ray.
that, yes, the reason why that is because I think 3 point shooting is going to be very important come the World Cup if we want to win games, especially against bigger opposition. One of the ways to combat disparity in height and length, which are going to be challenges I think Philippines will face, is shooting because you can spread the floor, you can get bigger defenders to kind of have to move around more, space it out, pass it around. And I thought Parks in some recent FIBA qualifying games, he had games where he did well from outside. And I think Parks also has the ability to get hot and hit like three pointers in a quarter or four 3 pointers in half. And that's a quality that I obviously there's no way to really build a perfect team, especially if you're an underdog like the Philippines is. But I wish there was more 3 point shooting and floor spreading on the court because I think that would be very integral in terms of giving yourself the best chance to win if you're Gilas. At the same time, too, if you have better shooting, you space the floor out, and suddenly Clarkson doesn't just need to rely on isolation jump shots, step backs, and mid range pull ups. He can get to the rim more because the threat of the kickouts and the outside shooters makes it more of a factor of being not too risky with your defensive principles. But if the team isn't shooting so well, suddenly the spacing isn't so good. And perhaps defenders would be okay packing the paint in case Clarkson wants to drive or sending double or triple teams each way. So that's probably my one main question in terms of challenges for Gilas. Other than that, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a tall mountain to climb coming up. I like their chances against Angola. I think they have a good shot to win that game. As tough as it's going to be, Italy and Dominican Republic are obviously way harder.
Yeah, we're gonna
But who
get there. We're
knows?
gonna get there.
Yeah, oh, okay, we're gonna
Baka
get
ba?
there. Sorry, yeah, Sorry, go for it.
We're gonna get. Actually, kasi I think like the reason RR Pogoy is in the final two is his shooting. I remember RR Pogoy because of his FEU days, right? He's the sharpshooter. I
Yes.
always remember him as the guy that kills the runs of Ateneo. Na may run na yung Ateneo and then you would see RR Pogoy hit 2 to 3 straight 3 pointers and then there's FEU again back in the game. But it's a matter of, for me kasi, gets ko yung Ray Parks. I would choose Ray Parks over RR Pogoy. I mean, I respect both players. I respect also most likely rin si RR Pogoy gave us nightmares back in the UAP days. Pero si Parks kasi can create off the dribble, unlike Pogoy. Pogoy talaga
Yes.
set shooter in a way a Jeff Chan role, would you say?
Mm.
Parang ganun talaga, 'di ba? So it's
I
a matter
Yeah.
of what do you think? 'Di ba? So si Coach Chot
Well,
naman siguro iniisip niya, we need a specialist like literal specialist na RR Pogoy, three-pointer, mas
and
he
Coach
knows
Chot
his
had
team
Jeff
best.
Chan back in the day, also. Interestingly enough,
Yeah.
the
Oh.
2013 roster. So Pogo is a good shooter, and that adds to my argument of how we need shooting to have a good chance against these superior teams in terms of talent and rank.
Mhm.
My one concern, I guess, with Pogo would be on the other end of the court because if you're playing him a two guard, he what's his height? I'm not sure. I think it's somewhere around um probably not taller than 6'4", right?
Yeah, he's not. He is
It's
1.88
6'2".
meters to height.
So
It's
that's six
six
foot
in.
two, exactly. And he's not a point guard. He's a two guard. So at that size, I think he's going to face a lot of other two guards who are taller than him and could back him down. Maybe could get past him. And that's no knock on him because it's not going to be like Pogo is not going to try to play defense. Naman he is,
Yeah,
right?
Pogo is a
But
good
some
defender. He's all right. He'll
Yeah,
try.
exactly. But against more athletic and taller competition, it's harder.
It's
But who
harder.
knows? If there are games that Pogoy gets hot, right? Let's say he hits 8 straight points in a 3 minute span, you can take him out of the game. Because if he's stroking it from deep, then again, I think that's your best chance to win. It it does concern me again. It goes back to my point. And when you look at the stat sheets of their tune-up games recently, among closed-door tune-up games, which I wish was open door because that would have been really good games to watch. The percentage of their shots, when you look at the field goal attempts, not a lot came from downtown. In one game, I think it was even below 30%, and that's not yet counting the free throw attempts that you usually
I think
get from
we're
being
trending in the
aggressive.
low 30s sa three pointers. My
Yes,
28, my
yes.
31%, 32. So medyo
Right.
concerning na.
Right. And maybe that will change because there are good shooters in the team naman. Not great shooters. They're good shooters. And the difference of good and great, in my opinion, is good is some games you're going to be hot from deep, but there are also some games you might not be so on point. The great shooters are the shooters that every game it seems like they just have the ability to hit like three or four outside shots. And 3 point shots are the great equalizer in basketball. So another method to win also, Nico, is just Clarkson going off. He has the potential to do so. I think he has the
Yeah.
potential to do so. But it's harder to go off when the team's defensive principles cater to we're not going to let you beat us. We're going to make you a passer. And in that with that question in mind, I just have to ask who's going to step up. And that could be the difference of a potential upset win or a devastating loss.
Yeah. So a lot of things to think about, especially with their opponents tomorrow, Dominican Republic. Actually, before that, I just want to say hi to Jordan Samar, Junmar with the bedhead look, kay Warren Lim, a friend of mine in the NBA card community. And once again, Jordan Samar, hindi ba parang medyo imbalance? Puro 7 footers, tapos biglang 6'4" below. Wala masyadong guys between the 6'7" to 6'9" range. You know, in a perfect world, I would love to have Carl Tamayo and Balti there. That solves your question. I think yun yung hinihinti niya sa atin eh. 6'7", 6'9". So you're looking for Balti and Carl Tamayo. You know, we can't have everything. We're gonna make the most out of it. I mean, Coach Chot said that in an interview with Nico Ramos. So for Love of the Game, he would love to have Balti and Carl Tamayo, but the circumstances that are out of his hands. So we ride with the squad that we have. Yun na yun,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Sorry, off topic, Nico, if I can give you some inside intel. A little bit of
Go, go.
intel, ha?
Basta pwede mo i-share, ah, baka biglang madali tayong dalawa
Yeah,
sa mga share.
I think okay naman.
Yeah,
So I was talking to some friends of mine earlier and I was basically asking them, okay, PBA draft, kind of have an idea of who the names are. I know PBA
yeah.
wasn't in our list of options, but I thought it's related to your point din kasi. And so who's going to go number one? Who's going to go number two? That's usually what I want to ask first, right?
Mm-mm.
So some names were thrown around, but basically a lot of people are waiting to see if Baltazar is going to join the draft.
Wala pa,
At
no?
least for now, yes. What, what I've asked is wala pa, not sure pa, and people aren't really certain yet if he's going to join. But that's just something to look out for because right after FIBA World Cup, 5 days later is the PBA draft. Final is September 10th. PBA draft is September 15th. And that's something to stay tuned for. Like, is Baltazar going to join? Because if not, then who's going to be number one? It kind of becomes wide open,
Yeah,
right? It because Cedric Bearfield probably isn't going to join at least right now after he signed the deal to play in Taiwan.
yeah.
So who's number one? Is it going to be Shawnee? Is it going to be Zave? Is it going to be Luis Villegas if he declares for the draft? Where does Henry Galinato go? Daming questions. So this draft is going to be exciting.
This is, I think, Nava, like after checking the list of players who are gonna apply for the PBA draft, ito yung first time na invested ako ah.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi parang this is close to
We
our
we
hearts.
grew up with this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
UAP NCA guys just wanting to stay at home, and some even who are done. Like Richie is going back, right? Alam ko na yung pangalan
Yeah.
niya sa PBA draft,
Yeah.
right?
Richie, Brent, Ken Tuffin,
Da
Henry Galinato, Shawnee Winston, JC Collier.
Sean is a
Um,
top three for me. On an off
yeah.
note,
Oh yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
different podcast. It's a different podcast, but feel
Right.
ko Sean is top three
Right. Right.
easy.
So Troy Malilin, J Boy Gob, who by the way has been playing well in the MPBL. Si J Boy, he was a star player in
Troy
high school.
also, Troy
Troy also,
also,
yes.
yeah.
J Boy was a star player, LaSalle Green Hills. Then he was pretty injured during his collegiate career, didn't have playing time. So that was tough. Actually, funny about J Boy, 2016, the year LaSalle won a championship, he was playing really well in the preseason. He was even a starter under Coach Aldin. And then there was a practice session one time. He went up for a block. It didn't land so well. The ACL tear siya. And really, from there on, college career was kind of funky. But he's become a reliable three-point shooter. Anyway, shout out to J Boy. But yeah, back to your point. So here's something to watch out for. Now, some people might say, okay, Zay won't go number one because he's injured, which
Yeah,
is a legit case because you still have to, of course, sometimes teams can be a little hesitant if hindi 100% healthy yung player. But if you're one of those top teams in the draft uh, with a high pick, number one, number two, and you know that Zay won't play till like the middle of the PBA season, you're thinking, okay, we're going to have Zay, and at the same time, next year, mataas ulit draft pick natin.
yeah.
So that
Pwede,
could
di
be
ba? Kasi
I mean, think, oh,
a strategy.
exactly. So Zay might go number one, number two. Let's see. But Shawnee definitely up there in the conversation.
Now that I already know what podcast episode we're doing next, which is a PBA draft. Anyway, that's gonna be fun. That's a complete, like, for sure. I think we can go 1 to 2 hours just on that topic alone. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and
now
madami pa. Plenty people are still thinking
for
of
sure.
whether applying. Yeah.
Now let's go move on to the topic two against the Dominican Republic. We're gonna face
Mm.
them tomorrow, 8 p.m. in the Philippine Arena. The first thing I did was search for paano tayo lalabas sa labas ng ng Philippine Arena, considering the logistics. But I'm excited. We really want to break the record of the amount of people that are gonna watch that game. I mean, the odds are really stacked against us. It's like we will be against Cat, Gene Montero, Victor Liz, Lester Quinones, Angel Delgado, Eloy Vargas, and I mean, all the attention right now is on Cat right now. But let's not forget that it's the guards of Dominican Republic is the one that killed our team back in 2021 in the OQT. Mainly
Mm-hmm.
sina Victor Liz, Jelvis Solano. They combined for 64 out of the 94 points that beat our version of Gilas back then, 94 to 67. So, I mean, yeah, star power ni Cat, but may pangsagot ba tayo sa guards nila? Maybe that's why Renza Bando is also there. We have guards. That's why biglang kinailangan siya. That's why you had to keep him. And actually, ito yung mga times sa you could have kept Chris Newsom, 'di ba? Dito papasok, iba-iba yung scenarios per country. That's why we're now sa Dominican Republic. You have Kat who can operate from the perimeter and inside the paint, an NBA All-Star. Not much to share about that, but the guards, do we have enough defense? Do we have enough maayos ba yung defensive principles natin when it comes to guarding those players? So for me, I wish we had Chris Newsom, but to at least contain their guards who are actually quite big as well in the 6'2" to 6'4" range yung mga gwardiya nila. So medyo takot ako
Exactly.
dun.
Well, yung cat factor also is pretty big because a few days ago they beat Canada in a tune-up game. And think about all the players who play for Canada. Dylan Brooks, Dwight Powell, Nikolai Alexander Walker, Shea Gilgis Alexander, of course, Lou Dort. So that's a pretty loaded team as well. And with Cat just being the fulcrum of the team on both sides of the floor, offense and rebounding, and his ability to also spread the floor, how versatile his game is, at least offensively. The NBA Cat might not be a dominant game changing big man like a Jokic or an Embiid or a Giannis. He's not in that tier of players. But in the FIBA game, I think, especially against this kind of competition, he's going to look a lot like how Jokic does in the NBA. You know, being able to score in the paint against smaller guys, being able to hit outside shots, showing off that ball handling chops for a big man. Then suddenly you surround him with all the guards you mentioned, all these talented, explosive, long, lengthy, athletic guards and playmakers around him, handoffs and pick and roll. And in transition opportunity, he's a good rebounder and he can push the ball because he's a big man who can handle. Suddenly all those guards are filling the wings. And it's easy 2 points, easy layup, easy dunk. And those are the kind of situations where you think you're in a game, you stayed close against a superior team for like 18 minutes, and then suddenly they go on like an 8 point spurt, and that just ends up being the difference of the game. Definitely, when you go up against a team like this, you have to be very disciplined. You have to
Yeah,
be disciplined.
discipline.
You have to control the pace. You have to make them play your game. And I think for Philippines right now, that is
So
patient
takbuhan ba kung
basketball.
ganun? Or patient? So
No,
set
I
plays? Set plays tayo?
yes. That's how it is. You have to get the opposing teams to move around the court, defend multiple spots. Maybe they end up send a double team or a triple team, and that leaves a guy open to take a shot, and then you hit that shot. And on defense, they're playing more half court in transition. These international opponents are lethal in transition. You cannot get them out on the break. This For me, the concept na you're going mong takbuhan and you really just play a speed game, you're going to lose that way because these athletes are athletically, they can get up and down the court faster. That's not to say that our team isn't athletic. We have some athletes there too, but I think overall, when you look at the rosters of both teams and how explosive the offenses of both teams, you have to make them play your style. You have to make them play your pace, and that will include being very disciplined.
I'm more scared of, actually, to medyo hot take. I'm more scared of Dominican Republic than Italy. And later, I'm gonna discuss why. Like, yung point ko on why, in a way, I feel like mas kaya ang Italy. I'm not saying that we can beat them easier. It's more of, in terms of the strengths and weaknesses of both teams, parang mas may chance pa tayo sa Italy. But right now, we're focused on Dominican Republic. Hello to Nelo, Kong, shout out. What's up, what's up? Thanks for watching. Being one of the third 10 to 15 people with us right now. Just nag-fluctuate siya, depending on what we're talking about. But it's nice to have you guys here. To Patrick, Yasa as well. First live stream. More to come. More to come. Especially with once we have more games intact. Sure, pag-uusapan natin yan. I hope na we get to have a late podcast tomorrow na Panalo Pilipinas.
That would be cool, no?
That would
Yung,
be
yung emergency podcast
oh,
after we
pag-uwi
get
natin sa
home.
Philippine Arena sa mga 2 a.m. mga
Well,
1 a.m.
well, if galing Philippine Arena, that means Panalo versus Dominican Republic tomorrow because the other games are
Yeah.
Araneta. So, pero I like how you're
Mabilis
thinking.
lang.
Imagine if they
Kailangan
win tomorrow. Oh
kailangan
my
i-manifest,
god.
man.
Oh my goodness.
That
If
actually puts more
everything
pressure in the game against Angola. Like, okay, you beat Dominican Republic now. Fuck, we gotta beat Angola now. Kasi ano
bro,
na eh, di ba?
the adrenaline of winning those games would be something else.
Sabi ni Pancho sa live stream ng Spin, they actually said that they're more scared of Dominican Republic than Italy. Yes, they have less holes on their weaknesses. They have more like they have the defenders, they have the shooters, the bigs. So, pero tayo may crowd na. Unlike nung OQT, ano yun eh? It's empty seats. It's social distancing ng time na yun. Not to discredit the Dominican Republic. I'm just saying this to convince ourselves that we can win tomorrow. Considering that,
So, alam mo, very interesting, Nico. You wanna know something interesting? So
yeah,
tomorrow, I'm looking at the FIBA schedule right now.
uh,
And in the FIBA schedule, it even puts there the odds of the game, betting odds. Huh? So, but
nako.
I mean, that's just a sign of where the world is going now, diba? Like how betting has become
Mm.
such a big factor into sports, NBA and everything. Live odds in J9.com. 4.33 ang odds for Philippines tomorrow to win.
Sa ano, money line?
4.33. Yes, I'm guessing money line to. So that
Money
means
line yun, oo.
so that means if you bet 1,000 pesos on the Philippines to win tomorrow using these odds, times 4.4.
4,000.
Yes, times 4.33 against Angola. Okay,
Tayo
against
ata
Angola.
favored eh. Tayo ba favored against Angola? We
Well,
are.
on the website wala pa dito. So maybe that's still
Wala
being
pa.
decided. Now,
Depende sa mangyayari bukas.
I don't know if this is a glitch, but against Italy, 1.91 lang.
That
And
actually
now,
makes sense kasi that actually kind of makes sense. Kasi yun nga no, I'm in the camp na mas delikado ang DR kaysa Italy. Maybe yung odds na titingnan mo, yun rin iniisip.
right.
But if you, as other people, mas delikado ang Italy.
Well,
So,
so Italy is still favored kasi sila 1.87 naman.
pero
And I agree na I agree. I
uh,
think Dominican Republic is a sleeping giant for this
mm,
tournament. But parang laki ng disparity, no, between both teams. It's something I found very interesting.
actually, yeah. Actually, let's talk about Italy next. We're already here in this topic. We don't need to discuss it per game day. Now for Italy, they have Simon Fontecchio. I'll just give three key players because we discuss all of the players for Italy. It's gonna take us a long while. It's gonna be a deep dive kung ganun. Nicolo Melli, former NBA player as well. I think for the Pelicans. He used to play in 2K.
Yes.
Siya yung
Shooter.
automatic from 3. And then Luigi Datome.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Tapos they have a lot of X factors. Stefano Tonut, Marcus Pisu, Akile Polonara. I'm not sure if pronouncing that right, but these are the shooters that I've watched on my phone. So I would check aiscore.com and then dun ko nakita. Sometimes they live stream the games of
Mm-hmm.
these FIBA friendly. So nakikita ko kasi I want to see who are we up against. And napansin ko sa Italy, disciplined defense, a great jump shooting team. But unlike Dominican Republic, this Italian team, mahina yung paint defense nila. They don't have disciplined defense, right? That's more on the perimeter and the switches. Pero sa inside the paint nila, they don't have dominant bigs. Unlike a cat, like Eloy Vargas, right? And sa naisip ko dito, we can target Luigi Datome. He's old. He's not what he used to be like 5 to 6 years ago. And sa perimeter defense, maybe our guards could be the X factor. Pero that means we have to make sure that we contain their offense. I'm talking about
Yes.
when we're on offense, we can attack their guards or attack the guys na hindi na ganun kagaling sa defense. So yun yung naisip ko, mas may butas ang Italy compared to Dominican Republic na I don't know, they're scarier, man. I don't know why I'm more scared of DR than Italy. So at least that's mine now. How about yours?
Well, just some additional uh, sarcastic confidence boosters if you're a fan of the other teams of the group where Italy is Group A now. They went 7-0 in their tune-ups leading up to the
Yeah,
FIBA
yun nga.
World
Yun,
Cup.
parang, yun din, undefeated sila eh. So ano, I'm just looking for
So,
holes. Anong mas kaya? Anong mas,
so the teams they beat before I get there: Turkey, China, Serbia. No, I mean Serbia no
Serbia.
Jokic, but
I
that's
think I
still a
think they
good.
beat Serbia by 89-88 yung
Yes,
score, I think nun.
yes.
Yeah.
Greece, Puerto Rico, Brazil, and then New Zealand, another pretty good team or the solid team.
Brazil beat
So
Australia. So that speaks, diba? Like what kind
yes,
of team Brazil is now and the quality of opponents Italy faced. Go ahead.
exactly. It's a deep roster because the names you mentioned, the former NBA players, and including the one NBA player playing for the Jazz, Fontecchio, anyone can really contribute. Like
They are.
when you look at their last game against New Zealand, they got contributions from a number of key guys, including Spagnolo, Richie, Tonut. Those three guys combined for 38 points. And they're not even the main names that we mentioned yet. So it's a deep
X Factors lang
roster.
sabi ko lang. X Factors nga lang yung sabi ko eh. Hindi na sila
Yes,
main names. Yun yung
they
nakakatakot.
play well and they play together. I think their ball movement is good. Defensively, like you said, they're solid.
Yeah.
And they've been in a lot of these intense
Don't sleep on
matchups
Tonut.
against good
Tama ka,
teams.
King. Yeah. You
Exactly.
mentioned Tonut. Yeah. By the way,
Yep.
thanks for watching, King. Nice to see you
Yes,
here.
sir. What's up, King? So, what are their holes? Again, see, Nico, this is why I keep getting back on 3-point shooting. Because when you face
Yeah.
teams with little to no weaknesses, especially when you're going up against a team like you have that might have a little more holes, then you need to be able to counter that with explosive offense and setting the pace on defense. So, like against Dominican Republic, that's what the Philippine team has to do. They have to play smart basketball. They have to make the right passes, limit turnovers. When you're an underdog, you have to limit your turnovers because that way you're limiting the opposition from making it easier for themselves to beat you and give themselves like a way to catapult into a huge lead. Keep it close, keep it within striking distance, get the
I
crowd
agree.
into it late in the fourth quarter. If you can stay like within
Actually,
four
sa
or
start nga
five
na,
points, di ba?
sa start pa lang ng first quarter, try to not get them into the flow of making their jump shots. Ganyan pumatay sa atin before eh.
Yes,
When we
yes.
faced them in
Uh,
2019, they
yes.
got hot so early, hindi na tayo nakaano.
Yes. Yeah. That's the
We
thing.
didn't,
You
never
let a
got to
team like
punch
that.
back.
Yeah, you let the team get like that hot early. You have to put them into foul trouble also. That's another key. Get the main guys into foul trouble. And when you're shooting free throws, it's easy points for you. They have to inbound the ball. They can't run. Um, I'm concerned though. I'm wondering if the traffic tomorrow going to Philippine Arena will make it.
I'm leaving at 12 to get there by 2 for the 4 p.m. game.
I'm leaving about the same time pero manggagaling
12,
ako
no?
MOA. I think yeah, manggagaling ako MOA. So
Ako galing ako
hopefully
QC. New Manila ako manggagaling. So, mas actually, Skyway.
Skyway, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
NLEX yun,
So
di ba? Bulacan. Oh,
yep, yep,
NLEX.
yep. So medyo malayo, but let's see. Anyway, I hope na it's not so traffic because if we can get the crowd there early and the intensity and the passion is felt right away. Yes, long weekend traffic, correct si Pancho, because of all the people going out of town for the long weekend. I might have to leave at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
What the You're leaving at 7?
No,
Why?
no, no. I'm
Really?
joking. I'll
Grabe
be
naman.
there by I'll be there by 9 and with my bag, be like ready to report, coat and everything.
So,
What's up,
naunahan mo pa
Adrian?
yung logistics crew. Naunahan mo pa yung magsiset up ng mga ano. Nauna si Naveen ah. You have to
Wala
watch
pa
out for
naman.
Victor Liz. Yeah, Victor Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah, sa Dominican
And
Republic. Kahit 37 na yan.
have you been to Philippine Arena, Nico, to cover a game yet?
No, it's my first time tomorrow.
So,
It's my first time tomorrow. I don't know what to expect.
so it's not like Araneta or MOA in the sense na madaming kainan, places you can,
But
tambay
madaming
before
kiosk
the
daw ah.
game. Kiosk, yes, but like like for example, if you're media, you need sometimes somewhere na you can sit down, work on your laptop, work on your
Wala
phone.
bang media room? Wala bang media room?
May
Like,
no no my media room naman.
oh,
What I'm saying is like MOA and Araneta may establishments nearby, 'di ba?
okay.
Na so
Eh,
if you go like super early, really diretso ka na sa arena, which is just third world, first world problems, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I hope that the traffic isn't so bad because if you know those, it takes me back to the 2013 game, Korea versus Gilas,
Mm.
semis, FIBA Asia Cup, which is really where I think the Gilas generation took off. That was my one of my first major events to cover when I got into media, and that was just unforgettable. And one of the great parts about that game, I remember being in the arena, is when before the first quarter started palang, puno na yung MOA Arena eh. Everyone was in white. Everyone was
Really? I
screaming
wasn't
na.
there eh. Hindi pa.
Eh,
No,
everyone
team
was
bahay ako nun eh.
everyone was standing up before the opening tip. And this is going to sound superstitious or maybe
Go.
a little too overly romantic, but you know what? I love romanticizing sports. So I'm going to say it anyway. I felt that aura of everyone being around, the passion, the anxiety, because it was Korea versus Philippines, a huge rivalry, and the excitement, the passion, the the mind games the fans would play on the Korean team. I really thought that helped Gilas win that game talaga. I really think so. I think the crowd played such a huge factor in
For
that
sure.
game in making the
Oh,
national
for
team
sure.
win. And without how intense and how passionate that crowd was. And one of the reasons why the crowd I felt resonated with the team so much, Alapag, Pingris, um, Doubt It, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few more names. Gary David, Jeff Chan, is because these were guys that the fans felt easy to root for because of how they played with hustle and heart and energy. And if the crowd is there early before the game starts, and if that's how this Philippine team plays, the crowd is going to get so behind it. And I have no way to quantify how crowds help
Ilan yung tao
basketball
sa
teams
MOA?
win.
Ilan lang yun?
Y-
Imagine mo, times 2 mo yun. Oh,
exactly.
we're aiming
So
50K tomorrow eh. We're trying to
wow,
reach
crazy,
50. We're aiming for
crazy.
that. Kasi 45,000 tickets sold already as of today. So, alam mo
Wow,
mga last minute
wow.
bukas, 'di ba? So, hopefully it really
Yes.
becomes a factor ma-foul trouble si Kat.
Right, right, exactly. So
Hoping for the best.
mahirap ma-quantify yan, but that fan energy and spirit could really push a team. And I think that could happen
For
tomorrow
sure.
if things break right. But jeez, the traffic, oh my god, gonna be a headache.
Just want to say, let's just say hi to Mr. Fresh, Rafi Pebres, Renz, hello, Jay, Budang Bros, and Ed. Anyway, ito Navo, good question. Best starting five for Dominican Republic and Italy. Let's stick with Dominican Republic muna since we're pressed for time. Since in the main
Mhm.
game bukas, say Anthony Davis, Roxy, Nicole, familiar name right there.
A familiar name, of course.
Familiar name
When you see Anthony Davis, you know na who it is. Eh, no? So best starting five,
for Dom,
obviously Jordan Clarkson. I'd like to
JC.
see June Mar Fajardo start the game.
Hmm. Okay.
Mm, I'd like to see AJ Edu. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see AJ Edu. I do.
Is
Yeah.
this a Kai off the bench?
I
Oh, ano,
I
parang
I'd rather just see Kai and like I mean they who knows how well they'll play with each other on the court, but
who's your three?
I'd rather AJ Edu. So AJ Edu, June Moore, Clarkson, Dwight
Uh,
Ramos,
Dwight.
Dwight Ramos,
Is it five na or four? It's four pa lang,
and
no? Clarkson.
and
What's your
Jamie
point?
Malonzo.
Oh,
Clarkson's my
okay.
point.
So Clarkson's your point. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here's mine.
Clarkson's my point.
So sa akin, it's gonna be Scotty, Clarkson, Jamie, uh, Edu, and Kai. That's how I wanna see first. Yun yung feeling ko yun yung kakapain nila the first 3 to 4 minutes. Can our
Mhm,
young
mhm.
guys kasi may chemistry na si Kai and AJ. So it's a matter of can we try seeing them against a big lineup? Not sure ko kasi I think Town starts with Eloy Vargas eh. So those are two
Right.
6'11" guys. So
So
we gotta
AJ
match.
Edu's 6'10 and June Moore's about 6'11.
But AJ's
But
faster. For me mas okay si AJ
you know,
laterally.
that's why I was going to say I'm not sure how long I'd keep June Moore on Cat or at all. I
Mahirap,
know it
mahirap. He might get
mahirap.
exposed as a pick.
Yeah, yeah, Cat will pop out, pick and pop, fake, drive past him. Suddenly, you have to force help. Guys are wide open. Obviously, asking Edu to guard Cat is such a tall order, but athletically and laterally, I'd try it out for at least like 1 minute to see how it goes,
Kapa-
diba?
mga 3 naman, 3 to 4. Tingnan mo how it
Yeah,
goes, right? And
yeah,
then if it does well,
right,
we
exactly.
pray.
And
Actually we pray from the opening tip.
well,
Not
you know
ano,
what? I might even consider. I know we have a lot of tall guys, but I might even consider going small for some stretches. Or
we
yes, go
against
for it.
Depende. Depende talaga sa ilalabas ng Dominican Republic eh. If they go small, do we go small?
Well,
Ganun
I
ba? Do
think
we
I
match
would, I
that?
would, I would even go small to maybe counter their height. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work, but
It's just like let's see what sticks, right? Nandun tayo sa point
right,
na yun eh. Parang ano pa
like
pwede
put
gawin
put
dito?
put five wing players. Let's say, for example, CJ Perez, Dwight Ramos, Scotty Thompson, Jordan Clarkson, and Jamie Malonzo. Then you play parang Clarkson and Malonzo as your small ball bigs. There's a chance you're going to get destroyed on the boards and with post ups. But what if you get some stops? Let's say you concede some mid-range pull-ups or outside shots and Dominican Republic misses like 3 or 4 straight. And then that's where the speed advantage comes in handy. Diba? You can push the pace, spread the
Mm.
floor, kick out the shooters. Would that work? What if suddenly you go on a 6-0 run? Oh, you found something there. Diba?
Yeah, you found
So, I
something.
mean,
Okay.
to win these games, again, we're going to go back to Eric's Spolstra because I covered the Heat. You know this. A lot of times people say, "How did the Heat win these playoff games? They're underdogs." That's because they were doing weird stuff. during the games. They were using a zone.
During
They were the only, yeah, they were using a
Did you see
zone. They
those
were going
type of
small.
plays, those type of lineups in the regular season or no playoffs lang
Yes.
nila nilabas? So parang
So
ginagamit na no regular season.
they parang ginamit ni Spo during the regular season in stretches, and then he would use more of it in the playoffs. So there would be lineups na magkasabay si Lowry and Vincent, or even like Lowry, Vincent, and then like Struce and walang Jimmy. But then so you do weird stuff, you throw a wrench in there, and then the team who scouted you suddenly has to be like, wait, what's this? And in that 1.5 minute time frame where they have to get used to something new that you're doing. Again, it can go the other way, it can go bad, but there can be times it goes good as well. And you can use that short time frame to catch up or maybe even build a lead.
So sabi ni Mika, what's or some things you guys are hoping to see in tomorrow's game? I think we just said it. Like we hope to see weird ass lineups that don't
Yes.
look nice on paper, but it might just work, right? Kasi yun yung
Right.
we have to catch them off guard. And
Yes.
what better way to? Okay, yung coaching staff natin are well prepared for this. Hopefully, they surprise us with like I've never seen this lineup during the tune-up game. So let's try
I
to
would
catch them blindsided.
one more thing I want to say is I think Japet is going to be big in one of these games. I
Yes,
think
bukas pwede.
I
Magagamit
think
siya ng bukas talaga.
there's going to be one of these games where he's the best big man from everyone, from Junmar, from AJ, from Kai. Japet is going to play the best because he can at least like his athleticism would maybe allow some rim deterrence, and he could catch lobs, especially if Clarkson attracts multiple defenders, or easy lob, right, or easy drop off, slam dunk, and then maybe he could get a block, and that like defensive swing could like change momentum. So those, basketball is really won by the little things. It's really won by the little things. And when you listen to player podcasts or players talk about the game, that's really what they say. Multiple efforts, little things, how your teammates help each other without scoring, and that's how you win in upset fashion as well.
Agree there. When you talk about the little things, I wish Ping Lacson didn't tweet the do not pass Edsa. He should have said pass through Edsa. That's the fastest way to get to your hero. Those are the little things that I'm talking about. Like kidding aside, but of course, it's all kidding aside. Just so funny when he said, I'm like, oh, ba't mo sinabi? Dapat di mo sinabi. Home court advantage na nga tayo eh.
Well,
Hello to Aldrich and kay Mika Rivera once again. I love when the lineups are not quite
yes.
what you expect. Yeah, but hopefully it works, right? Kasi mahirap yung it's not what you expect and it doesn't work. Then that's not gonna fly. Kung ganun.
For sure, for sure. And by the way, also, to those who are still looking for places to watch the games, there are a lot of viewing
Yes.
parties all around. Raptor has one for tomorrow's game at
Oh,
McKinley
saan kayo?
Whiskey Park
Sure,
sa
there you
Taguig.
go.
Yeah. So,
McKinley Whiskey Park.
yes, sa Taguig City at 6 p.m. A former CSB player and a PBA player will actually be in attendance for that viewing party. So, to those still looking for somewhere to watch the games, you get drinks, food with friends, check it out. Details are on the Raptor socials. Plug lang, Nico. Sorry.
Go, no problem. That's perfect. It's World Cup related anyway.
Yes,
So we
sir.
talked about not in detail, but in summary, Italy and Dominican Republic. Let's now talk about Angola. So Angola, we're gonna face them on August 27 on Sunday, and I feel like this is the country na mapupudpud, for lack of a better term, si Junmar Fajardo, because all our bigs will have to contain the bigs of Angola. Si Bruno Fernando, Gilson Bango, Silvio Sousa, and from what I've seen from Angola in their friendlies, they love to attack the paint. That's where they live. That's their life source. And mabubugbog yung bigs natin, but our guards will thrive. So dun tayo babawi at least. And I feel like this is the game na kayang-kaya natin. Unlike nung Angola noong 2019, may konting kaba na shit. We lost ultimately, but yun yung game na okay, I kind of get why we lost. Ito parang no excuse na matalo tayo. Because we match better than them. We have the better size. I feel like we have the better talent. Mas maganda yung offense natin based from what I've seen. Again, yung data ko lang is watching these guys off their friendlies. Kasi wala nang iba eh. I mean, di ba? Like you can watch the individual highlights of the players, but if it doesn't, di
No.
ba? It's more of, yeah. So, Angola, it all starts and ends in Bruno Fernando. We
We
able to
don't
get him
talk
out.
about Bruno.
We get him out of the game, and I think it's gonna be we can cruise, not cruise, but more of we can breathe easier. You know, if you get
Right.
him out of the game early, get him into foul trouble, and we just defend him well. Yung mga pick and roll coverages natin, I feel like we're capable, especially against Angola. Sana
Right.
no brainer to. I hope I don't eat my words, right? I don't. I hope we don't. I don't get to make a video saying I'm sorry. I was wrong. I wish na on Sunday we get to make a video na I was right. We were right.
Where Nico was
So
right and where Nico was wrong.
I was right with but yeah, for Angola, do you have any thoughts with that one? Since they have the lesser known players, I know, but mostly to give you guys a summary, mostly this is a team that loves to attack the paint and lives inside the paint. Just to box or make it a layman's terms kind of understanding on what kind of team Angola is.
Let's see. So Angola. Hmm. Um, I think we're going to win that game. I
Yeah, yeah.
straight up. I think
I'm really
Gilas
confident
should
in
win that
Angola
game.
as well.
Yes. I think we have the big men to counter the bigs of Angola. When you look at the height of the Angola players, no one is above 6'10".
Yeah, si Bruno
So
nata pinakamatangkad eh. I think Bruno's like
see,
6'8", 6'9", to be honest. It's not 6'10".
yeah. So pinakamatangkad is Bango, who is at 6'10",
Yan.
and Bruno is 6'9". Obviously, it's not easy. They're going to try to attack the paint, score inside the paint, try to protect the paint on the other end also. But in terms of talent and capability, I think Clarkson will be the best player of both teams in that game. In fact, I even think that that could be a game where we see Kai Soto thrive because I think
Okay.
the
That's the Kai Soto
competition.
game.
Yeah, I think the competition in terms of the big men of the other team trying to do damage is also going to bring the best out in him. And then I think you're going to see Junmar comfortable, kind of going mano a mano against other big men. And I think we're going to win that game. I think Clarkson's going to be awesome. Maybe drop like 32 points. Maybe we get some like 8 apiece from like Scotty and Dwight. And maybe Pogoy also hits like 2 3 pointers. And I think that's going to be the game we win. You know what? We've talked so much about how Dominican Republic and Italy are so strong. Let's turn the table a bit, and not just because for the fun of it, but because at least in my case, I actually believe it too. Gilas is going to beat Angola.
Yes, I agree. So I hope we don't eat our words. We gotta manifest it somehow, right? We're gonna beat Dominican Republic tomorrow. We're gonna beat Angola. We're
Ayun!
gonna beat Italy. Okay lang kung makancel ako about it. So, ikat Italians, my goodness. Actually, yung pag-usapan natin, Simon Fontecchio, Luigi Atome, number 70. And, man, this is a team that went undefeated in the friendlies.
Yes,
So,
yes. You know what? And our spaghetti is better. Nah, I can't say that. Sorry.
Or nag-enjoy sila doon sa mga pagkain sa Phil Sports. Di ba sa Phil Sports yun? Kung saan sila nagpa-photoshoot?
I think
Phil Sports ba yun? Di
was
ba?
it
Yung,
or Mo or Araneta? Well, one of the
I don't,
two.
oh, basta nakakatawa. Like,
Maybe.
when they're just enjoying eating all the food and everything. It's nice that they're
Oh
enjoying.
yeah,
Considering
yeah,
jet lag
yeah.
yung mga yan.
I think Phil Sports nga. You're right. But
Yeah, it looked like
definitely,
Phil Sports.
like everyone's going to say how much they love the lumpia.
Yeah, I think the USA players actually killed the lumpia. Kasi di ba may food dun eh for them. Tapos, di ko nga guess ba't may table tennis eh. Part ba ng ano natin yun, culture? May table tennis ball dun sa ano, sa photo shoot. Hindi ko maintindihan. So, may table tennis.
I think we're going to see maybe some of the highlights on social media. I'm not sure, but no, it's fun. It's all fun and games. The World Cup's supposed to be fun also, and
Yeah.
it's a
Chill
great
chill
way
lang
for yes, it's a great way to get different experiences in terms of culture for these players from other teams. NBA players, they're treated like rock stars when they're here, right? You got
for sure.
people like just dying to get their autograph or pictures. By the way, Angola lost all their 3 tune-up games
They
in
did.
recently. Yes, so they're not coming in with a head full of momentum. Just to reinforce the thought that I said earlier that I think Gilas wins that game.
And ito na, just to add, we lost to Mexico, right? But we
Mm.
only lost by a bit. That's with no Clarkson. We were leading
Mm.
85% of the game.
Couldn't
We
close
just
it out.
lost it in fourth
Yeah,
quarter.
and
But
go
without
for it, guys.
GC. So I'm like nung nakita ko yung report na yun, I saw it late na JC is not playing. Sabi ko, wow, we actually kept in step with them without our best player, where our offense is centered around. So
Correct, correct. And
I kind of
even
encouraging. What's the name? Malakas ang
e-
Mexico.
even the Montenegro game, we were up after the first quarter. We were only
We
down
were
by
up.
like a few possessions at halftime,
Yeah,
and in the third quarter, they
we
really,
lost. Tas
yeah, yeah,
doon na
Vucevic
tayo
did
na
his
ano.
thing. But the first game, who did they face in the first team? Ivory Coast. They won that
Ivory
too.
Coast. We killed Ivory
Exactly,
Coast. Yeah.
exactly. So let's see. Now again, such a tall order to climb. Italy, Dominican Republic. Who
I think
knows?
we were just saying
Who
stuff to
knows?
to calm ourselves for tomorrow. Like,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
do it. Kaya yan.
Yeah, I
But
just want a close game, you know? Like I'm
same,
not
same.
say
I
yeah,
want a close game that will win. Like, I want to win. I want to win. But if it's
walang kailangan masagasaan.
oh,
But
I love that
but
guy. You know, when he said that, I'm like, wow, the balls of this guy. Okay, too much inside jokes. So sorry.
okay, we're so
Yung mga
sorry.
Oh, anyway. Oh, get si Ed. Si Ed ba nasa ano ba yan? Nasa GC natin? Most
Yeah.
likely, he gets it. He
Oh
gets
my
the inside
god.
joke. Hey,
Oh
like
my
before we
god.
close this out, are you concerned with Kai's plus minus in the three games? I think negative siya in all three.
No.
You're not concerned. Don't
No.
parang for
Plus
you.
plus minus, I think in like small sample sizes you can see the value of it. But in terms of like a long game where things happen, and just because you have a high minus in the game doesn't mean that it was all your fault why you got outscored
Mm,
during that stretch. So many
it
things
could
could
be
have
the
happened.
lineup you're with, diba?
Yeah.
Depende din talaga.
Yeah. And again, the three Gilas tune-up games were basing it according to just the stat sheets. The stat
Yeah,
sheet,
wala tayong nakita. We didn't see
yes.
anything.
The stat sheet is informative, but the stat sheet doesn't tell the entire story of how a game was determined. We didn't there was no broadcast of the games. Very unfortunate because like other major teams in the world, you we were watching their tune-up games, Australia, Canada, Serbia, and what they were all in courtside 1891. And it was fun. It built up momentum and hype entering the World Cup. That's why I wish that they televised the Gilas tune-up games this past week. I really wish they did. Because that would have given us a better idea of where the team is right now. You can't judge that based on the stat sheet.
I kind of get why though, why they had to make it closed door so that hindi talaga sila scout. Gets ko rin. Like, okay lang, sige. Yun
Well,
yung how I saw it.
what happens if they get blown out two of the three games and then lose against
Ouch.
Angola, and then people will be like, hindi nag-close game kayo kasi ayaw niyo ma-scout. Eh wala din naman nangyari. I'm not to say that equals
Ang
what
dami
happened.
pwede mangyari, man.
Yeah.
You know, so imagine ang scenario na gusto ko. We beat Dominican Republic and Italy and then we lose to Angola. I'm sure how fucked up that is. Like, that's so funny. Like, what?
Well, yeah, but you know, if you ask me which team I'd rather beat, DR or Angola, DR, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah, of
kahit
course. Like,
makachamba, yeah.
pero mas madidisappoint ako if matalo tayo sa Angola. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what? But
No,
hey,
no, I
anything can
think
happen in basketball.
yeah,
This is a one-time thing. This is not a double round robin. It's like what we get to face these teams once, and then that's it.
yeah. I
Unless
think
mag-meet tayo sa classification games, which is medyo mahirap.
yeah, I think they'll beat Angola. I still do. I think they're better than Angola. They should win that game against Angola,
Yeah.
especially
Hindi ako
with
kinakabahan
Clarkson.
sa Angola.
Konting
Yeah.
kaba naman because they're pretty close in rank still. I think magkasunod nga sila 40 and 41. Wait, let me
Yeah,
double
parang
check
ganun.
that.
Parang ganun. Or 41,
Yeah,
42. Basta one or two
40 and
spots lang.
41. Yeah. By the way, Dominican Republic 23, Italy 10. So yeah, let's try to aim for 2 wins. That's a good goal. If you can get three, obviously awesome. One would be okay. Two would be great, in my opinion.
Two will be eternal bliss.
Oh
Kasi
my
that
god.
means we get to make
Yes.
it to the knockout eh.
Yeah, yeah. You know, You know, Nico, I've quit alcohol recently. I haven't drank in a while, but I think if we win against DR or
Mapapainom
win
kita
two
mo.
games, mapapainom ako. I'll
Mapapainom ka.
have, yeah, I will. Bukas, if they beat
Hindi,
Dominican Republic bukas,
maghanapan tayo sa venue. Hanapin natin mga tao.
yes,
Sino gusto uminom? Like, heading to our
right.
cars. Kasi stuck naman tayo sa traffic anyway.
Are you
Let's
driving
drink.
to
What?
Philippine? Are you
Hindi, hindi.
driving to?
May driver yung kaibigan ko. I'm riding with a friend. Kukuha siya ng driver. Kasi it's
Mm-mm.
gonna be hard. Hindi talaga joke yung egress daw, yung exit.
Yep. That's why
It's really bad.
I might do the same run. Yeah.
Yeah, we need, sorry, first world stuff that we're saying, but hassle talaga lumabas ng maraming TikTok videos, guys, on people showing how to leave the Philippine Arena. No one, hindi ka makakita ng ganong videos on how to leave MOA, on how to leave or Araneta Coliseum. Di ba? So, pero it's
Mahirap,
a one-time
mahirap.
thing. Only one time lang bukas, ba?
Yeah.
It's
Tomorrow
the
lang.
first and last day that we're gonna have games in
I
Philippine
guess if
Arena.
we're since we're media because we have to stay after the game for quite some time, that helps a little bit, very little.
So instead of
Um,
1 a.m., 2 a.m. ka na makauwi.
oh my gosh, probably. Still gotta get some sleep
Anything
though
for the
for sure.
content, man. Anything for the great interviews. Man, if we win, I feel like I might stay and try to just
Mm,
get a feel of what the
yeah,
crowd's like. To just di mo na alis. You wanna. I mean, medyo ano no, medyo cheesy. But if you get to
right,
beat a team like
and
that,
and to see the emotion, I'm sure in the players'
yeah, I just wanna
faces
suck.
when
Yeah, stay ka lang, nakaganon ka lang sa arena. You just wait till they leave.
exactly. That's gonna be great. Hopefully it happens. Hopefully.
Yeah. And let's answer one last question. Ito kay Budang, sabi niya, yung lineup niya for tomorrow starting five, I want to know if you agree, Nav, or if you have any thoughts about it before we cap this off. JC, Jamie Malonzo, Japet, Edu, and Kai starting five. What do you
Hmm.
think? It's a yan yung mga ano eh, mga gamble
Two.
lineups eh.
Yeah. I think two of the three of Japet Edukai can work, but you have to add another wing. I think you have to have Dwight Ramos in there. Dwight Dwight can also have those spurts where he goes off for like 8, 10 points and it could really change a game.
Okay. Well, again, Nav, I want to say thank you first for agreeing at this time, 8:30. We could have started earlier, pero di ko mahanap yung mga saksakan para sa mga camera ko and headphones. So, medyo delay tayo na onte. But thank you so much for being a guest here. Hopefully na we win tomorrow, get an emergency pod going. It'll be nice to, I mean, we recorded a 3 a.m. pod before. 2 a.m., right?
Yes.
We recorded something
Yes.
super late. And I feel like if we win, let's do a emergency pod, live stream, gisingin natin si Lim, our director, in so to get this live stream up and running and just celebrate with you guys tomorrow.
For
Prayers
sure.
up
For sure.
for Gilas Pilipinas. Uh, Hopefully everything goes well. No injuries. So once again, ito yung mga games natin, guys. August 25, Philippine Arena, 8 p.m. 27, Sunday, Araneta na. All the way. Kasi dyan tayo assigned eh. And yeah, stick things day by day. And hopefully, it's a 3-0 group stage. Aim for the stars. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the
Thanks
right.
for having
Yeah.
me, Nico. Appreciate it. Let's make that pod happen if ever we something great happens tomorrow. And thanks to everyone who tuned in, who checked out the episode tonight. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Spotify, Six Man Podcast, or Nico Rocha on YouTube. Nice to see you guys here. Follow for more. Peace.